Gentlemen, good evening and greetings to the FWA Northern Managers Awards dinner in conjunction with our new title sponsor of the FWA, Lyle & Scott. So a warm welcome to Lyle & Scott, and we look forward to a long and successful association. Now, sadly, Arne Slot has been unable to make it here tonight, so Liverpool have sent Ambassador Gary McAllister to accept his award on his behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary McAllister. There you go, Gary.
All right, good. Well, first and foremost, I'd just like to send Arnie's apologies for not being able to be here with you tonight for this great event and this awards ceremony. But what I can tell you, the little message he sent me, that he's extremely, extremely proud and honoured to have won this award. To be Football Writers Association's Manager of the Year is something very special. It's a massively difficult league to win, and to win it in your first season, for me, looking from the stands, I thought it was an amazing achievement. But also, to follow Jurgen Klopp, a massive personality and somebody with massive charisma, I thought Arnie handled himself unbelievably well. He was never up, he was never down, he was very calm the entire season. And I just thought he used a very good squad that Jurgen left, and in all honesty, I think they won the league in a canter. So, brilliant achievement for Arnie, and really proud to receive this on his behalf.
We appreciate your time. Thank you, Gary. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary McAllister.
Right.
Well, playing against some of his sides last season must have felt like running into a brick wall. He moulded a group of new players into a cohesive unit with a defensive discipline that Burnley, Matt Williams, you missed a trick. Your shirt sponsors should have been Daz for the amount of clean sheets that they kept. The longest run of 12 consecutive clean sheets was part of a record-breaking total, the most of all time in a 46 league game season, with a staggering 30 clean sheets, conceding just 16 goals. And to amass 100 points and not win the title is incredibly unlucky. Not only that, until Liverpool won there in mid-September, it ended his undefeated home run of 25 games, which was Burnley's longest unbeaten home run in 104 years. It's his third promotion to the Premier League. It's his first visit here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Parker of Burnley. Scott, many congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time tonight. When you read out those statistics, that's extremely impressive.
It is. It sounds like a million years away from where it was, to be honest, where we are currently. But hugely proud of the achievement we did last year. Obviously a tough challenge, and we executed what we needed to. The goal was to obviously get promoted, and we did that. And the way we did that was big, really. So yeah, big achievement for all of us at the football club. The guys who are here tonight as well, and the players, and I stand here often, but yeah, we did really well.
Is there one moment that stands out?
Well, I think as always, it's probably the last game, the defining game, because obviously you work to that position, and you then go into a game that you have to win to finally get it over the line, which was that Sheffield game. And you probably lose sight of everything else, or gets you that position, really. But the Sheffield game is probably the one that stands out, because that's when it's on the line and you need to get the job done, really. So, and we managed to do that, so I was pleased.
And now it's a different challenge altogether, isn't it?
For sure, different challenge for us. It's a challenge that we're relishing, and of course, like I said, the award tonight is all the hard work and everything we put into last year to get into this position currently. So there's a big challenge ahead, and no doubt many bumps along the way, but we're used to them, and we'll fight as hard as we can, and we'll show our quality as much as we can, and hopefully we'll give ourselves a chance to try and survive this year.
Well, we're extremely grateful for your time tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Parker.
Thank you.
Our next award goes to a manager who, the last time he was a winner at this event, was actually writing a book, The First 100 Days, Lessons in Leadership. He's also told me to say it's available still in all good bookshops, as is Mike Keegan with his book, This Is How It Feels. Anyway, back to the script. He clearly did something right in those 100 days, because today he's actually been in charge for 772 days. And he masterminded a great achievement in taking Oldham Athletic back to the EFL with a dramatic late win in extra time at Wembley to stun Southend in the National League playoff final. And by doing so, he equalled John Still's record of 3 promotions to the EFL. He's described the club as a monster and the need to build momentum. And after yesterday's win over Newport County, they are now only 4 points off the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, Mickey Mellon of Oldham Athletic. Take it away, Mickey.
I seem to have lost Brabs. Has anybody seen Brabs?
I think he's hiding.
Lost him. No, just to sit at this table with these guys who I've competed against against, and both as a player and as a manager is such a great honour. I can remember years ago, I've been up here very, very lucky that I've had some fantastic teams, and I've been to these awards a few times. And I remember John Coleman standing up here one time, and I was sitting down there, and he said what a great honour it was to be able to come here and be able to talk about how well that your team had done, and actually be asked to come. And that was 5 years ago that I seen that with Tranmere. I've been in Scotland for 2 of the years, but so for all these managers here and for myself to be able to stand up here and represent what my team has done last season together with Darren Royal and all the guys, I am very, very proud of and really, really appreciate.
Thank you, Mickey. Where did Gary? Is he hiding?
I don't know where he's gone. I mentioned to him, I said, I'm going to bring you up like Jacko. I don't know if some of you guys were here the last time I brought Michael Jackson up, and he gave the best speech that's probably ever been given at one of these awards. Jacko, he's got off. Perhaps, I don't know where he's gone, but he's a big, big part of what I do. As other guys will tell you, other assistant managers are here. You're nothing on your own. You are only as good as what you are as a management team. And without them, you'd never be sitting down there on that table and coming up here to talk about it.
And the book's going well?
But the book's really special to me because it was about a guy called Lenny John Rose who I lost as a teammate to motor neurons disease, and I asked him, Lenny, could I write a book about management that I could maybe help managers to try and succeed? It was never ever about me. It was about going around and collecting evidence or collecting ideas from managers around. It was a great learning experience for myself, but to go around about these managers and collect all this management experience and put it into a book about how you could try and survive in your first 100 days was amazing. But it was all for Lenny, and I haven't heard Lenny spoken about for a long time. Lenny was very dear to me and was a good teammate of mine, and I'm sure MD in the Northwest or MD that's connections with Burnley will understand how close that group of players were. We got promoted together. But to be able to do that, and his picture's in the book, and you can still buy the book. Every penny goes to motor neurons disease. Not a penny has ever gone to ourselves. But it was a fantastic experience for me.
Well said, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Cheers, Mickey. Don't forget your award there. Mickey. It's not often that you hear Gary Neville say he was wrong, but he's on the record for saying he made a mistake when he sacked our next manager. Indeed, he's been at the event before with the success that he's had at Salford and Fleetwood in his managerial career. He's just passed his 2-year anniversary, which is an achievement in itself these days. He's at a club where he's worked wonders in recent years because they've tried all sorts of different names and different approaches, and it seemed destined to remain in League Two. Their fan base was disillusioned, but he's turned the club around, and he sealed promotion with an injury time winner in the most dramatic of circumstances on the very last day of the season. He's been strong and consistent in those 2 years, 56 victories, which is the joint 5th across England's top 4 tiers, and he's amassed 154 points, again, joint 5th. Very impressive, I'm sure you'll agree. And I wouldn't necessarily rule out him being back here next year, although he won't thank me for saying that, with the possibility of back-to-back promotions. Ladies and gentlemen, Bradford City's Graham Alexander. As Gary Brabin walks back into the room, Chris Lucchetti starts to shift rather uncomfortably.
I'll get up with you in a second. Fucking great job.
What about the job that you've done, Graham?
Well, I think Mickey said it perfectly just before there. Chris has been here 3 times now, and 13 years been a manager, and Chris has been with me every step of the way. And we built up a relationship as players, 6 years next to each other at Preston North End, 13 years as a partnership in management. So it's, and I think it's great. You come to these events and you, like Mickey says, you're having a drink with people you compete with. On a Saturday, you want to kill, they want to kill you. But we're all in the same game, and we have a deep respect for the toughness of the job. And but we've got to enjoy it, and that's the biggest thing. I think any longevity you have in this game, it's because you take the hits, but you love the sport.
And back-to-back promotions?
You're saying that because you're a bantam, so... Now look, we have to check ourselves a little bit, because I think I got carried away. We won 7 out of the first 10 in League One, and then we had a couple of draws away from home, and Chris is telling me on the bus it's a great point, and I'm arguing the toss with him, saying, no, we should have beat them, this, that, the other. And so Chris is my sort of balancing act about the reality of football. But listen, you only get so many opportunities to be successful. You know, it doesn't come around all the time. So if there's something there to go for and chase, then you have to go for it.
Well, good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, Graham Alexander.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget your award as well. We said at the start that time is a precious commodity, and Mickey talked about the first 100 days. Now imagine the next recipient. Those 100 days were not easy, because it took him 9 games to register his first win, and indeed they were relegated from League One. But in February 2024, he'd signed a 5.5-year deal, and he was aligned with the long-term vision with his club's owners, and their faith was rewarded as they sealed promotion on the penultimate day of last season. Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Moore of Port Vale. Now, Darren, before your acceptance speech, I text one of the owners, Carol Shanahan, during the week for 3 words to describe you. She passed it on to your media team. They responded, big, late, and unpredictable. She asked ChatGPT. The answer was calm, respected, and determined. But for good measure, she added her own. Warm, reflective, winner, good egg.
That's Carol, and I suppose, Ian, for me to stand up here tonight to receive the award, Mickey and Graham's explained the job, but for me to get promotion last year was a special accolade for us, for them, for Carol and Kevin Shanahan, which are the owners of Port Vale Football Club, because the way they think of the game and how they want the game to be played and seen at the football club, it aligns with, in terms of my philosophies, in terms of how I see the game. We're hard-working, we're committed, and but we're humble as well, really, as a football club. And that's the biggest thing that we wanted to achieve last year, and we got that. I stand here as a manager, and I pick up the award, but like the gentlemen have said up here, for us to pick up the award, there's so many things that you've got to align in the football club in terms of working over a 46 league game season. There's so many ups and downs, and you have to stay consistent and persistent through the season, and that's what we've done at Port Vale. So to get relegated and back in the first season and back into League One, it's a tough division, but we're in there fighting with everybody else.
But to know that you've got that backing from above, that must mean a lot.
Yeah, we spoke about it when I come on board, and you know, Carol and Kevin's expressed in terms of what they want to do at the football club. My vision aligns with them. It's bit by bit, step by step, which we know. And it's just been consistently almost like seeing the wood through the trees, if you like, in terms of that solidity. And I think that's what it is really, so us not trying to race it too far ahead of ourselves and just keep building it bit by bit. And I think that's the biggest thing. But for me to pick up the award, it's really on recognition for them really, because in terms of how they've set the stall out, and it was a perfect opportunity for me, and I'm grateful for it, as the gents have said up here, to be a manager in this game and to have the longevity and to be in the position that we are. We're really, really humbled and honoured, really, to be leading our teams out and competing against each other week in, week out. And yeah, the season's still early, and we'll see where we go.
Well, good luck for the rest of
Top
the
man.
season. Ladies and gentlemen,
Cheers,
Darren
guys.
Moore.
Thank you.
We've heard from Graham talking about his success at Valley Parade. Our next manager has had success at Valley Parade. Indeed, it was a unique feat of taking them to a League Cup final as a 4th Division side. But what he's achieved is unprecedented in English football. It's why he's got a season ticket for this event. He became the first manager to achieve 3 straight promotions with a team. Not even their Hollywood owners could have written such a script. They are a club with a global appeal, and yet they remain deep-rooted at the heart of their community. But their success cannot be possible without this manager and his trusty sidekick, Steve Parkin. Sergeant Guthrie sends his regards, by the way, whose dedication and hard work has masterminded their rise, and he's stayed humble throughout. He's just been awarded the Freedom of Wrexham. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Parkinson. I've seen his dedication at first hand on the golf course. It's why I'll explain that I've beaten him for the last 2 years. How would you describe the last 12 months or the last 9, 10 months?
Yeah, it's been interesting. Coming into League One, as Daz has found it this year, it was a big challenge for us because we had a lot of players who were coming into the division for the first time, so we kind of went into the unknown to a certain degree. But I think what we did well, after the hype of the National League and League Two, where we're expected to win every game, we had a unified approach with our media team and our owners to say, look, this is a big step for us. Let's not get carried away. We've got a lot of work to do just to take the pressure off us a little bit. And I think that worked in our favour to a certain degree. And rather than being the favourites every week, we're going to Bolton Wanderers in front of 25,000 people who just lost in the player final. And I felt taking that pressure away from us gave us a time to feel ourselves into the division.
Has what you've achieved, has the magnitude of that, when did it sink in?
Do you know, like we were saying tonight with these guys on the table, unfortunately in football you don't get much time to reflect because you're straight away looking at the next challenge. But, you know, there is times like tonight before I came here, I went to the pub with my son. I said, I think I've got to do a speech tonight. Let's just go through a few of the stats of last year and how we achieved it. And just having those moments to kind of go back is very special. And I think when managers get promotions and, you know, people think, oh, yeah, it just happens. And there's so much work goes behind the scenes. You need so many great people. Obviously, Steve being right at the top of that with it. But, you know, me and Steve were talking on the way across here that we start the season okay. We were in and around it up to January. And we got to January and our fans were saying, we can't win away from home. And our points, we'd had 12 away games and we'd got 13 points away from home. And by the end of January, we then had 18 games left, 11 away, 7 at home. So statistically, everyone really was saying they'll be lucky to get in the playoffs. And we made a few changes in the group. And I think in this era of data and people listening to people on podcasts and listening to outside noise, blocking that out and getting the door closed with me, Steve, and the rest of the staff, and go good football people in the room say, what we've got to do, because we're not going to get promotion if that continues. And we made a few changes, and you know, in the last 11 away games, we took 26 points. And I think sometimes people don't understand all the work goes behind the scenes from good people within your football club to analyse what you're doing yourself, rather than listening to what people from the outside are saying. And we're very proud of that, because we felt we'd got everything out of the group to January, but that wasn't going to be enough, and what we were going to do to achieve the obviously ultimate aim, which was promotion.
And now you find yourselves in an ultra-competitive division, but you are competing.
Yeah, it's competitive, and like again, we're finding our way into the league, which obviously Graham, and Daz are finding. It's a level above, but that's a great challenge, and we're enjoying that. Going to Ipswich yesterday is, an amazing opportunity, and we say to the lads before a game, we want to make the most of today. We want to embrace the day, and we're not just here to make up the numbers, but we've got an opportunity against Ipswich, who've spent 100 million. They've come out down from the Premiership. What can we do today to try and get results? So, yeah, we're just doing okay, and I think there's a lot more to come from us, and we're very determined to keep going. We're not getting carried away, but it's an exciting challenge.
Well, we wish you well, Phil.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Parkinson.